And welcome to another edition of Ducks and Sources. This week, talk about round 2 of the CFL playoffs, aka the Western Finals and the Eastern Finals. Should be interesting with 4 really good teams going at this weekend. Should be interesting. Of course, winners of this go on to the Grey Cup. But our first matchup, we'll focus on the Eastern Final as the Toronto Argonauts travel to Olympic Stadium to take on the Montreal Alouettes. Should be an interesting one. We'll start with the Argonauts here. The Argonauts really come together well the last couple of weeks. I know last week against the Eskimos started really slow in the game, but then got better as the game went on. Ricky Ray found his touch, finding open receivers all day long, and really run the ball well. Toronto Argonauts are showing that they haven't lost a beat since cutting Corey Boyd. Very, very impressive. But the most impressive thing about this team has to be their defense. Just a great team defense. A team that on defense just flies to the ball, makes plays, makes tackles, does not give up the big play. Very, very well coached team. Scott Milinovic has to really give a lot of credit because he's really taken a team that was really bad last year and made this into basically a Grey Cup contender. Very, very impressive. But of course, this team will go as far as I think Ricky Ray will take them, and Ricky Ray is playing well. He's playing at a high level right now, playing some of his best football in years, in my opinion. And of course, when you have the MVP, in my opinion, Chad Owens on your team, you're going to be a very, very good team. And they're going into a place that's really hard to win in the Olympic Stadium. Of course, only play there once a year for the one playoff game. Montreal usually gets a year. And the Alouettes, not to say they're playing bad, but they're not playing like the Montreal Alouettes have been playing the last couple years. As you know, the Montreal Alouettes had a good season. Won the East Course, had a great season. But just down the stretch, there was just something missing from this team. The team has been missing a running game since Whitner went down. Very, very disappointing how the Montreal Alouettes end the season. Not typical Montreal Alouettes fashion. And in my opinion, this Montreal Alouettes team has a lot of holes going into this game. I mean, their defense isn't as good as it used to be. Anthony Calvillo is still a great QB, no doubt. They can't run the ball, and the receivers are not getting any younger. So I think Montreal Alouettes can be had in this game. I mean, remember, a Toronto team that went to Montreal twice this year and beat the Alouettes. But a Montreal team that knows how to get it done in the big spot. When the lights are on bright, when championships are online, this team knows how to get it done. But I just have a funny feeling that the Toronto Argonauts, with the way they're going to control the clock by running the football and the way their defense can play, I think, led by Ricky Ray, a guy who's won Grey Cups in the past, I think the Toronto Argonauts go into Montreal and beat the Montreal Alouettes by 2 scores this weekend. Our other matchup, the Calgary Stampeders travel to BC to take on the BC Lions. This week in Calgary, very disappointing week. If you're a Stampeders fan, of course, Drew Tate, going down with that wrist injury. And very disappointing because now you have to rely on Kevin Glenn, who, yes, had a great year. But can you count on Kevin Glenn to get it done in the big game, in a big spot like this? Now, he did it last year. He went to a very tough place to play in Olympic Stadium and beat the Alouettes when he was with the Ticats. But let's be honest, these BC Lions are just on fire right now. I mean, you talk about the BC Lions, you talk about Travis Lulay, Arlen Bruce, Simon. I mean, just so many great weapons. It's going to be so tough to stop. And a defense in Calgary who's been, pretty good, but not great. And I think that's what's going to hurt him this game, because I think Drew Tate was the answer for the BC Lions, because Kevin Glenn had chance after chance after chance to beat the BC Lions. But every time against the BC Lions this year, he got destroyed. And the one time the Stampeders beat the BC Lions was when Drew Tate was the starting QB in that game. So, should be interesting this game. I think the Stampeders will put up a big fight. I think this will be a close game, a field goal type game, but I just think the BC Lions are just too stacked, too good, and they're just on a rampage to repeat as champions. And to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I just don't think the Calgary Stampeders have enough horses to beat the BC Lions. I think the BC Lions go on to win this game by a field goal. It will be a very interesting game, but again, the BC Lions will go back to the Grey Cup. So that would set up a Toronto Argonaut BC Lion Grey Cup in Toronto. Should be interesting, if that all. comes together. But hey, we got a lot of football to be played, and Sunday should be a very, very interesting day. But remember, tune in next week, because next week I'll be giving my preview of the Grey Cup. Should be interesting. Grey Cup, always a great, great weekend for football fans. So it will be interesting. But till next time, I'm Aaron Dux saying I'm Dux, and I know sports. Kind of.